everyone, I'm Becky.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're doing Bickering Book Reviews today.
In person for the first time in over a year.
It's true. It's true.
Exciting.
We're in the same place at the same time. It's amazing.
Nuts.
It's amazing.
Yay for vaccines.
Right? Right. I was sick for 3 days. I earned being allowed to be around people.
Right.
Today we are talking about Instructions for Dancing. Anyway, by Nicole Yoon. And I got this off of NetGalley.
Same.
So, and we were super excited because I always think Nicole Yoon has written like a dozen books. She's written 2.
Yeah, but they're good.
They're good, but this is the 3rd book. This is like, I know there were like a couple like short stories and stuff, but I'm like, I always think like, when I go to the shelf, I always expect there to be like a whole shelf of Nicole Yoon.
Yeah, but she talked about how like she was struggling with writing, and like in the author's note at the end, she talks about how she was going through a lot, like with sick family members, and how she was struggling with writing.
Yeah, it's true.
But she overcame it because this book was awesome.
Yes. So, this book is about Evie Thomas, and Evie's parents have just recently broken up, and Evie knows that her father cheated, but her sister Danica does not know this. And so Evie is kind of pulled away from her father, and she lives with an apartment with her mother, and like they had to give up their house, and her whole world has changed. And she used to love romance books, and she's been slowly donating all of her romance books to the library. Well, she goes to donate the last ones, and the library is closed. So she finds a little free library to donate the books, and there's this woman there who says, well, if you leave a book, you have to take a book. And so Evie gets this book called The Instructions for Dancing, which leads her to a dance studio, where she gets pulled into dance lessons and being part of a competition with the owner's grandson, X. At the same time, Evie realizes that she has developed a power, a superpower, and that when she sees a couple kiss for the first time she sees them, she can see their beginnings, but she can also see the end of their relationship. And so she's just kind of drawn into this dance world where she has this attraction with this guy, but she's also like watching people have like horrible breakups.
Yeah, that would be really hard because she focuses more on like how every relationship ends,
right?
Not about the journey to getting there,
right?
I also thought it was really interesting. It definitely talked about how, like, what kind of information would you want to know? Like, for example, if you knew how you were going to die, would you want to know? And it really, and I think I would, but like this book definitely made me kind of question that. Like,
I wouldn't want to know.
Because then I'm like, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't want to know. But then, then you could just do whatever you wanted if you knew. I mean, I would run out into traffic, and you know you're not going to die if you run out of traffic on that day.
I don't know. we diverge. No, but it is, like, it does make you, the book does explore ideas of, like, what would you do, and what would you be willing to have hurt later to be happy now?
Well, and I like how Yoon plays with the form of writing. She doesn't do it as much as she did in The Sun Is Also a Star, but it definitely is there as far as like with text messages and lists and definitions and.
Well, yeah, and that was like in Everything, because you had Ollie and they were emailing. What was her name? I can't remember either.
It's terrible.
It is. I read that book like 3 times too because I kept getting like book clubs. But no, remember he writes his email in the window.
She's really good at playing form.
Right, and it was interesting because like you would be reading and you'd have like a really really long chapter, and then to get the momentum, the speeding going better, so you'd have a really long chapter, and then to get the pacing better, you would have like a series of text messages or song lyrics or something. And I think that's like the strength of her books, particularly for reluctant readers, is that like they move quickly, and even when she needs to have dense writing, she cushions it with more accessible writing.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, her characters are so strong too. Like you don't even spend that much time with them, but you know everything about them.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, since everything else has been turned into a movie while I was reading this, I was like, well, who are gonna play these people? So, because, you know...
It's gonna drive up the popularity of ballroom dancing, which will
That's
be
true.
an interesting
That
trend
is,
to watch.
That is. But the kids at my library love her books.
Yeah. And this one's just as good.
Right. I actually have a book to movie display up now, and I have, like, everything, and the sun is also a star right there in the middle.
I need to see The Sun is Also a Star. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not going to comment.
I think... Oh, you weren't a fan?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay. I guess I get to hear a dissertation later.
I loved everything. We are ready to rate. So our rating system starts off with 5 unicorns, but at 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse.
I'm between a 4 and a 5. I don't really know. I think I'm going to go with a 4 unicorn, just because I think she did really well with the form of the book, but I think it wasn't as perfect as The Sun is Also a Star. Like, that book was perfection.
The book was perfection.
This book doesn't reach that. Though, when compared to other books, it definitely is a 5, but when it's compared to her books, it's not.
It's not as rich as her books. So I'm at a 4 as well. The characters were strong, and the story was strong, but it didn't quite knock it out of the park.
It wasn't perfection.
Right. But I'm so hoping we get another book from her in less than, 4 or 5 years.
Hey, if it takes her that long, though, to come out with a book that's as good as this, then
I even loved the cover. The cover was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was.
So that is where we are on Instructions for Dancing, and we'll see you around. Bye.